You work hard, you make money, you do it for yourself. That's not life. You go out, you seek for people who need your help, you make their lives better. You become that sponge which can absorb all the negativity, and you become that person who can emit beautiful, positive vibes. And when you realize that you have changed someone's life, and because of you, this person didn't give up, that is the day when you live.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us on this vlog. On this vlog, I'll be doing a Q&A with Cherrell, Chinah Watson. I'm just going to go ahead and let her go into a little bit about herself so that we can continue in regards to the hashtag millennials vlog for today.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Cherrell, Chinah Watson. I am a mortgage loan originator with PRMG, amongst other things. And thank you for having me today, Olivier, on this Q&A.
Well, we're diving in regards to the current economic market and why we need to kind of shift the mindset of millennials in regards to home loans and ownership rather than renting. So let's go ahead and dive into the video and essentially, what's the definition of an asset and versus a liability?
Basically an asset is something that is tangible. Basically in most of our lives, we all have a bank account. So that is considered an asset. It has money in it that is liquidable. There's also other assets such as 401ks. There's also gift funds that you can get from another person that's considered an asset. A liability, of course, would be something that's reported on your credit report as either like a credit card or a car loan or something like that, or an installment loan or unsecured line of credit, something like that. So that's considered a liability.
Okay, great. The issue for me that as a realtor, what I've been able to witness and see occur in my day-to-day, experiences with millennials are, hey, I want to purchase a home. And yet so many of them wish to purchase a home, but necessarily the thing that I run with is I can't get approved for a loan because my income is so low. So what are the workarounds for that?
That comes a lot. I always analyze a person's file in 3 ways. Easiest way is income, assets, and credit. So income is most important because it's the one thing out of all 3 of those that can get you not approved. And I don't say not approved because everybody's essentially approved, just not for what
certain factors are not allowing them to receive the certain amount.
A lot of the people that come to me, we can get, you can always work on your assets. You can save the money that you need for the down payment. You can always improve your credit. You can increase it, get it to where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. But your income is your income. Unless you go out and get another job, you get a huge raise. That's the one main thing that stops, a lot of millennials from getting. I mean, they can get a house, but some are not interested in condos or townhouses. So because they're approved for a lot lesser than what they expected,
definitely. They kind of get discouraged and not following through with the process.
Exactly.
So a no now is essentially a yes later. So my thing is there are steps to follow, and just that no, that rejection, they tend to it's just not meant to be, exactly. And you never hear from them again, or whatever the case may be. And I'm just you're looking for them with a flashlight.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that if you do have lower income, you just have to be more optimistic and just realize, say, hey, do I want to sit here and pay an apartment, monthly rent, where I can get a condo or another townhouse, close to an apartment, where I'm paying maybe way less than what I'm paying for rent.
But
I'm owning it, and I'm building equity. And equity is basically like a savings account that you can cash in on.
Versus renting, where you're paying 50 to 80% up front for essentially a cardboard box.
Exactly.
And there's no upside in regards to economic return. When you're owning, you necessarily you're building equity. It's yours, and there's so many great advantages such as tax purposes and so forth. I mean, us being in the industry, we understand it. Yeah. But for millennials, they seem to, just kind of I don't want to cut grass. It's too much maintenance. But my thing is, the 50% to 80% upfront, meaning you have to have the first and last and securities deposit nowadays. The apartment complexes are requiring, and good credit. You know, and that's gone. That deposit you will never get back.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but I have yet to meet a renter that has received their deposit back.
Yeah, exactly. Usually you just, you know, you're tired and fed up, and I mean, they're going to charge you for everything from the blinds to water.
whatever they're going to legally tie that deposit down in order for you to give up and not receive it as a return.
Exactly.
So, moving forward, even though renting is I feel like it's a disservice to millennials, financial wealth, you know, what would you say to someone that is pro-renting over ownership?
So anyone that's pro-renting versus ownership, a lot of the pushback that I found with a lot of millennials that are renting is, like you said, they don't want to cut the grass, they don't want to be responsible if something breaks or something like that. Every single realtor, and this is my favorite realtor right here that I work with, better for sure have a warranty in that sales contract. So if your realtor doesn't have that in there, shame on them. Because when you're getting into a new home, you're investing a lot of money into that home. So you want to make sure that your investment is protected.
Your assets are covered, essentially.
Exactly.
The same things that, you know, that are kind of a pro for renting for millennials, what I've realized is like the ability to be like calling the, you know, the main office, be like, hey, something's broken, come fix it. You know, that warranty essentially covers it. Like, let's say, you know, there's a new roof. Should a leak happen because the seller sold it and whatever the case may be, that warranty covers that roof, you know, to get it repaired where it's at no cost to you. Give or take whatever the scenario occurs during closing. And or like maybe there's a new water heater and there was a manufacturer malfunction in regards to that water heater. It's covered. It should be covered under that warranty that is negotiated upon closing per your realtor. Once again, that's all handled before closing, signing, and all that. But I think, you know, the cons that are essentially looked on as we're discussing this by millennials in regards to homeownership, essentially just having a free consultation, you're able to dissuade them and make them see the light of day if they're truly interested in homeownership.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know.
Yeah, another con, I think people just feel like, you know, they're not ready. They just have that anxiety of owning a home. But
there's like a lot of built stress.
Exactly.
Like, this is essentially why I wanted to do this Q&A, kind of like shift the mindset and like kind of like, because like there's kind of like this, you know, taboo thing around homeownership for millennials. I don't know, like, and then renting supposedly is the best option for them. And it you know, it varies per the individual, but 9 times out of 10, renting is costly and it's a detriment to their financial wealth.
Exactly.
So, and another excuse I see and hear a lot is the immobility of the property or the freedom to move or relocate. And what would you advise in regards to that?
In regards to that, that's why I always say, first home, start a home. If you feel like, you know, if you're just like, I know how I rent, you know, 1 year lease, I'm on to the next. You know,
keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Honey, it's like changing a car.
Yes, find something cheaper, you know, because they're going to go up on my rent, so I got to find something else. So if you run into that, you know, where you're like, oh, I'm stuck here, you're not stuck. I mean,
you can always sell one.
Exactly.
And or you could turn it into a passive income, into a rental property.
Exactly.
And, you know, you go live your best life in another state or whatever the case may be and hire a property management company. There's so many different options. Yeah. Like, but my thing is you're not stuck and tied down to this home.
Exactly.
Which is the kind of the mindset that I feel like that needs to be reconditioned amongst the group that we're discussing here today. And yeah, it's just, you're free to do whatever you want. It's just like owning a car. When you no longer want it, you sell it, or you do something else with it, you trade it in, whatever the case may be. And there's so many options available. Just talk to a realtor or a lender that you prefer, of course, and, you know, discuss your options.
Yeah, I think the main thing about that, just to touch on it, is to become the boss. You know, become the landlord. Ooh. Instead of being the renter, be the landlord. Instead of being, you know, trying to get loans, become the bank. Start owning everything that you have. You need to put your name, because can't leave your apartment to your kids. You can't leave
You can't deed it to anything.
Exactly. You can't leave it. If something happens to you, your landlord's gonna get all your stuff, throw it on the
curb,
and that's it. And your kids are left with what? Nothing. You need to start looking at homeownership as an asset and as a inheritance for your kids, if not for anyone else,
for your loved
kids,
ones,
for your loved ones. If it's just you and your dog, I mean, the dog gets the house. I mean,
okay, girl, did you see that story where this rich heiress left all her millions to a dog? I'm like, man, that is one lucky dog. Adopt me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god. But essentially, I feel like we've covered all the bases that I wanted to today. Is there anything else you wanted to mention or go over before?
Just know where to start. That's why I started my blueprint. And I used to be a processor, so I know the ins and outs of what to look for in each application that will get them approved or denied. Yes. So if you can get that from someone ahead of time before you even go through the application process, someone that's going to point out those issues that might arise in the application process, I would say, get with me, get a free consultation for the blueprint, and that way you have, like, if you don't know where to start.
It's a detailed map.
Exactly.
It's a detailed, per case-by-case individual, and what I've been receiving a lot of feedback from my clients that I forward to you, which, I've partnered with your brand, and all these clients are like, oh my God, she's so amazing. She didn't pull my credit, but she was able to go ahead and provide me, like, essentially a roadmap, a step-by-step plan, which I could follow and kind of lead me into the homeownership.
Exactly.
And by far none, it's just, I kid you not, in your accessibility, oh my God. Every time I call or text, she's always answering. I was having such a problem with my different lender, or not being able to reach them, not hearing from them.
Yeah.
I call her at midnight, and she answered. I was so shocked. I was expecting a voicemail.
Exactly.
Honey, Chinah is 24/7. This enterprise, it does not stop. Okay, you get me?
And that's the one thing about remaining accessible.
Yes.
A lot of banks at night on the holiday just passed, 4th of July, they were closed. I was still doing work.
I was still operating.
Pre-approvals, pre-qualifications. If you have some questions about your application throughout the whole time, I'm just a phone call away, a text away. I love to be accessible. It's my passion. And so if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, to the fullest of my extent.
No shade, no tea, no lemonade, but it don't seem to be like your only passion. Guys, ladies and gents, she is also an owner of Affordable Help Now, who provides credit services, at a very competitive rate. And also she does, numerous non-legal representation for divorces, child support, and so much more. Feel free to go ahead and check out the website. What is that website?
The website is www.alhelpnow.com. That's A for affordable, L for legal, helpnow.com. And I'm basically a paralegal. I'm in law school now to be an attorney, which I'll be pretty soon here.
Honey, but she represents some big, major law firms.
Yes,
okay.
I'm a freelance paralegal, so meaning that I don't work for just one attorney. I do motions and things for a couple different attorneys throughout the state of Florida and some out of state as well.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to be able to have this Q&A and kind of like have that spit and spat like about, just what we experience from day to day in regards to the fields that we chose to partake in. With that said, I know time is money and you have other pressing matters to tend to.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. And once again, please go follow her social media, all social media facets, which will be located below the blog and as well as the website as well. And please go ahead and book a free consultation. It's free to you. It's of no charge whatsoever. There are no hidden fees, no obligation to use her service, but I guarantee you this, you will end up using her service. Yeah. With that said, I'm Olivier, aka Nerdy Fresh. It was a pleasure.
Oh, my website. My website for the mortgage is cwatson.myprmg.net. And then